Some machines rise above their own purpose. They become statements about persistence, performance, and pride. In a world chasing lighter, faster, and quieter, one motorcycle refuses to fade into the background. Its purpose is not to reinvent the wheel but to remind riders why that wheel still spins on dirt, not asphalt. It is the sound of grit meeting tradition, the echo of an era when American iron dominated the ovals. Every time it fires up, it brings back the thunder that built an entire sport. This story is about more than horsepower. It is about endurance, evolution, and a legacy that refuses to go silent. Today we look at a machine that carries an entire culture on its shoulders, still racing against time itself. If you love stories where engineering meets heritage and competition meets conviction, make sure to like, subscribe, and tell us what motorcycle you want to see featured next. The Harley-Davidson XG750R 2024 represents a chapter few brands would dare to write in an age obsessed with instant gratification. This motorcycle does not exist to chase mass-market appeal or luxury touring numbers. It lives for a singular, dirt-fueled purpose. Born from the flat track, refined through relentless testing, and powered by a heart that refuses to quit, the XG750R 2024 is Harley-Davidson's proof that tradition can still run shoulder to shoulder with innovation. Its existence bridges decades of American racing identity with modern-day performance thinking. To understand its relevance, one must first understand the sport that shaped it. Flat track racing began as a raw, grassroots spectacle. Stripped-down machines sliding sideways on dusty ovals with nothing but nerve and throttle separating victory from defeat. The appeal was primal. It was about control in chaos, skill over spectacle. When Harley entered this arena in the early 20th century, it was more than competition. It was cultural affirmation. The brand's twin-cylinder machines became synonymous with power and durability, characteristics that defined American engineering for generations. Yet as decades passed, the racing world evolved faster than Harley's production models. By the time liquid cooling and lightweight materials redefined the sport, Harley faced an existential challenge. The old XR750 had dominated for half a century, but its air-cooled design could not compete against the new generation of purpose-built rivals. In that void came the XG750R, based on Harley's Street 750 platform, reshaped into a competitive flat-track machine that spoke both to nostalgia and necessity. The 2024 iteration builds on lessons learned since its introduction. Engineers didn't just tweak, they rebuilt key elements from the ground up. The frame geometry was adjusted for improved stability at high lean angles, while the suspension received updates to handle both tighter turns and unpredictable surfaces. The 750 cubic centimeters Revolution X engine was rebalanced for torque delivery, tuned for sustained performance rather than top-end aggression. The goal was simple but vital: to preserve the visceral feel of a V-twin while delivering the responsiveness needed to survive in modern competition. The Harley-Davidson XG750R 2024 stands as a machine forged not in boardrooms but in dirt pits. Every modification carries the fingerprints of riders who demanded more control, less hesitation, and pure predictability in motion. It may not dominate headlines like its older XR sibling, but it represents the next evolutionary step in Harley's racing DNA. The styling tells the same story. Minimal fairings, exposed hardware, and functional aggression. No chrome excess, no marketing gimmicks. It looks exactly how it rides, built to endure punishment, built to perform. The air intakes, the seat contour, the tank, all sculpted not for showrooms but for the starting line. Even the color scheme is stripped back to racing fundamentals, a blend of utility and pride. What makes the Harley-Davidson XG750R 2024 particularly fascinating is its dual existence. It is not a production bike you can easily buy off the showroom floor, yet it represents the pinnacle of a brand's commitment to authenticity. For Harley, it's a heritage statement. For racers, it's a tool of survival. The contrast between the brand's big touring image and this lean, competitive machine reveals a willingness to fight for credibility in places where brand loyalty alone means nothing. Flat track racers care only about lap times, traction, and consistency. For them, the XG750R 2024 must prove itself anew every race day. The racing community views Harley's perseverance as both admirable and ambitious. In an age when many brands abandon unprofitable segments, Harley's choice to continue developing a specialized competition motorcycle feels almost rebellious. The investment is not financial alone, but emotional. It's about identity maintenance in a landscape that no longer guarantees reverence for legacy. The XG750R 2024 is an argument that the Harley sound, the Harley stance, and the Harley feel still have a place where victory depends on mechanical trust and rider instinct. What makes it stand apart technically is not just the engine but how it delivers that familiar pulse. The 60-degree V-twin architecture, paired with liquid cooling, ensures sustained efficiency across long heats. Unlike older air-cooled designs that lost performance under extreme stress, this setup keeps torque consistent, allowing smoother exits from corners. The injection system's mapping has been refined to eliminate hesitation at throttle tip-in, a detail riders appreciate when traction margins shrink to inches. The gearbox, reinforced with race-grade components, ensures faster engagement without the risk of misshift, a frequent concern in dirt racing's dynamic conditions. Suspension geometry, often overlooked by spectators, is where Harley's race engineers invested heavily. The rear swing arm and front forks were re-engineered to maintain balance between compliance and feedback. Too soft, and you lose control on exit. Too stiff, and you skip over ruts. The 2024 model strikes an equilibrium, designed to translate rider intent into predictable motion even as the surface deteriorates. The result is not an easy ride but a controllable one. The kind that rewards courage and punishes complacency. And that's precisely the point. The Harley-Davidson XG750R 2024 isn't about comfort. It's about capability under pressure. When you watch it lean into a corner, rear tire sliding at a calculated angle, you witness a philosophy that's been decades in the making. Harley isn't chasing aerodynamics or digital wizardry. It's refining instinct through machinery. Every bolt and bracket serves function before form. A return to the kind of mechanical honesty that once defined American motorsport. Riders who pilot the XG750R 2024 know they're not just racing other bikes. They're racing a timeline, defending the relevance of mechanical emotion in an increasingly computerized age. The more you examine it, the clearer the narrative becomes. The Harley-Davidson XG750R 2024 is not simply a racing motorcycle. It is a declaration that tradition can coexist with adaptation. It represents every engineer who refused to let a brand's past dictate its limits. In its thundering cadence lies a challenge. Prove that craftsmanship and heritage can still compete with innovation and algorithm. And each time it crosses the finish line, regardless of placement, it delivers that proof in the dirt, loud and unapologetic. The Harley-Davidson XG750R 2024 exists at the intersection of craft and competition, and understanding its evolution requires looking deeper into how Harley reimagined its approach to racing. The company once relied on the XR750, a legend whose half-century dominance made it synonymous with American flat-track supremacy. But the XR was a product of a mechanical era, where metallurgy, air cooling, and intuition shaped performance. The XG750R 2024 belongs to a different chapter. One where data, computer-aided modeling, and material science drive the quest for control. Harley's engineers were not trying to reinvent their identity. They were refining it for the modern battlefield. The starting point was the Revolution X engine, originally designed for the Street 750. It was never intended as a race motor, but its compact dimensions and liquid cooling made it a flexible platform. Engineers stripped it down to its essentials, reinforced the internals, and optimized breathing efficiency through redesigned intake runners and exhaust routing. The compression ratio was adjusted to match the sustained loads of oval racing. Unlike road bikes that rely on wide rev ranges, flat track engines demand predictable torque at specific RPMs, a rhythm that matches the oval's flow. The Harley-Davidson XG750R 2024 captures that pulse perfectly, trading high-end power for relentless mid-range surge. Every component of the chassis echoes this philosophy. The steel tubular frame combines rigidity with calculated flex, enabling the motorcycle to dig into corners without losing composure. The rear suspension geometry ensures consistent drive when the rear tire drifts under throttle. Flat track racing is not about avoiding slides. It's about mastering them. To do so, the XG750R 2024 maintains weight balance across both wheels even as it leans, allowing the rider to control drift angle by throttle rather than steering input. The rider's body becomes a dynamic extension of the machine, and Harley's ergonomics team refines seat height, peg placement, and handlebar reach accordingly. The result is a bike that feels intuitive at speed yet demands total commitment. In racing terms, predictability equals confidence, and confidence equals speed. Where the XG750R 2024 further distinguishes itself is in its response to changing race surfaces. Flat track conditions shift constantly. Morning moisture gives way to afternoon dust, corners harden, and grip disappears unpredictably. Harley addressed this through suspension adaptability and tire calibration. The front forks provide heightened feedback without harshness, while the rear setup keeps traction consistent even as temperature and texture vary. The 2024 refinements prioritize communication between machine and rider. Nothing happens in silence. You feel the surface, anticipate loss of traction, and adjust instinctively. That's what separates this machine from high-spec street bikes adapted for the track. It was born for this chaos. Harley-Davidson's dedication to keeping the XG750R 2024 competitive also reflects a cultural undercurrent within the brand. Flat track racing isn't glamorous. It doesn't bring the sponsorship glitz of superbikes or the global reach of MotoGP. Yet it remains a proving ground for authenticity. When a Harley slides around an oval, spectators see lineage in motion, not marketing. The 2024 model continues that line of visual and auditory identity. The exhaust note retains the signature rhythm, deeper and more mechanical than electronic. Riders and fans alike recognize that sound before they see the bike appear out of the corner. For many, it's an audible reminder that the spirit of American motorsport still breathes. The Harley-Davidson XG750R 2024 also plays a strategic role beyond the racetrack. It represents Harley's ongoing struggle to modernize while staying loyal to its DNA. The company's road lineup has expanded into new categories, but racing remains the brand's emotional compass. Engineers working on the XG750R contribute lessons that ripple into production technology. Materials testing, balance analysis, and weight distribution studies inform everything from sport cruisers to electric models. In that sense, the XG750R 2024 is not isolated from Harley's broader story. It's the laboratory where future innovations are proven under the harshest conditions. Even the maintenance culture surrounding the XG750R reveals Harley's shift toward precision. Older race machines required constant rebuilds, sometimes after every event. The 2024 version extends service intervals without compromising performance. Improved oil circulation, enhanced cooling pathways, and precision machining reduce mechanical fatigue. These are subtle but significant gains, allowing race teams to focus more on setup and less on survival. The result is a machine that blends the mechanical soul of traditional Harley racing with the reliability expectations of modern motorsport. That balance defines its competitive character. While rival manufacturers invest heavily in experimental technology, Harley has chosen refinement as its weapon of endurance. The XG750R 2024 does not aim to be the lightest or most complex. It aims to be the most dependable under stress. Its riders understand this intimately. In a sport where crashes and mechanical failures can end seasons, reliability becomes a performance metric in itself. Through that lens, Harley's approach feels pragmatic and deeply aligned with its roots. The Harley-Davidson XG750R 2024 also raises a fascinating conversation about identity in an evolving racing landscape. Electric prototypes, advanced traction systems, and hybrid experimentation are redefining what competition means. Yet Harley insists on keeping the analog connection alive. The 2024 XG750R doesn't reject progress. It filters it through mechanical authenticity. Each race becomes a dialogue between eras, the analog and the algorithmic, the instinctive and the calculated. This duality is what gives the motorcycle its emotional resonance. Fans don't cheer because it's the fastest. They cheer because it's still fighting the good fight on its own terms. In its form and function, the Harley-Davidson XG750R 2024 captures the tension of modern racing. Tradition refusing to disappear, innovation refusing to wait. It is this tension that makes every lap matter. The bike's design language, performance character, and cultural significance intertwine to form something greater than its technical sheet. It's a living statement about endurance through evolution, a message that Harley continues to refine without losing itself. In every competition, whether it finishes first or fifth, The XG750R 2024 ensures that the unmistakable rhythm of the American V-twin remains part of the racing soundtrack, as vital and defiant as ever. The Harley-Davidson XG750R 2024 embodies a truth often overlooked in modern motorsport. Not all progress comes from replacing what came before. Sometimes, it comes from perfecting the familiar until it transcends expectation. This machine carries forward a legacy that began in the early days of American flat track racing, when the motorcycle was as much a test of rider nerve as mechanical endurance. In 2024, the XG750R stands at the convergence of old-school ferocity and modern precision. It's a living paradox, a classic engine format sharpened by contemporary engineering, still fueled by the same competitive hunger that once defined an entire generation of racers. That hunger is the heartbeat of Harley-Davidson. The brand's involvement in flat track racing has never been about mass appeal. It's about staying connected to the DNA of motorcycling itself. Each time the Harley-Davidson XG750R 2024 rolls to the starting line, it represents the survival of that connection. Its 750 cubic centimeters engine, tuned for torque rather than top speed, gives riders the control they need to manage slides through corners where physics seems to surrender. Its suspension geometry and tire setup continue to evolve, yet they remain rooted in the feel and feedback that made Harley's racing history unforgettable. Every throttle input on this bike translates into a tactile reminder of why mechanical mastery still matters. What's fascinating about the Harley-Davidson XG750R 2024 is how it acts as both competitor and cultural ambassador. It's not just racing for trophies. It's racing to remind people what American motorcycling stands for. When the bike leans sideways into a corner at full speed, the crowd isn't just watching a race. They're watching decades of persistence being reaffirmed. Harley's engineers understand this responsibility. They're not merely preserving the past, they're sculpting it for the present. The 2024 version continues to refine the Revolution X platform to withstand longer races, higher ambient temperatures, and more aggressive riding styles. Oil flow, cooling, and ignition mapping have been optimized not just for power delivery, but for sustained reliability under continuous stress. In that sense, the XG750R 2024 becomes a metaphor for Harley itself: resilient, adaptable, and loyal to its roots. But legacy alone does not keep a motorcycle relevant. Flat track racing has entered an era of global competition, with new technologies and younger brands pushing the limits of design. The Harley-Davidson XG750R 2024 must therefore earn every victory through genuine performance. Weight reduction has been achieved through careful component redesign rather than exotic materials, maintaining affordability and serviceability for private teams. The result is a motorcycle that feels raw but responsive, powerful but predictable. It continues to reward riders who understand balance, throttle discipline, and patience, skills that define true mastery in this sport. Beyond the mechanics lies the greater significance. Flat track racing remains one of the last bastions of motorsport where the human element still dominates. No traction control, no predictive systems, no digital interference. It's just rider, machine, and physics. The Harley-Davidson XG750R 2024 thrives in that purity. Every vibration through the handlebars, every slight loss of grip, every recovery becomes part of a dialogue between person and machine. It's a conversation Harley refuses to let technology replace. That authenticity resonates far beyond the oval. It influences how riders perceive the brand as a whole. When fans watch the XG750R in motion, they see more than a race bike. They see proof that Harley's core values can adapt without compromise. The 2024 model reflects years of small, incremental improvements guided by racer feedback rather than marketing demands. Each component tells a story of refinement through repetition, of testing through adversity. Harley's decision to continue investing in the platform demonstrates a belief that heritage still holds commercial and cultural power. In a landscape dominated by innovation, Harley proves that evolution can be just as compelling. The Harley-Davidson XG750R 2024 also connects generations. For older fans, it recalls the glory days of XR dominance, when American V-twins ruled the dirt. For newer enthusiasts, it serves as a tangible bridge to a history they may have only read about. The bike's unmistakable exhaust note, its visual simplicity, and its performance philosophy offers something rare in today's racing world: continuity. Few machines embody that sense of ongoing legacy as authentically as this one. As electric propulsion grows and racing formats diversify, the XG750R 2024 reminds us that there is still room for analog excellence. Harley isn't ignoring the future. It's ensuring the past remains relevant enough to inspire it. When the Harley-Davidson XG750R 2024 finishes a race, covered in dust, engine heat radiating, its rider exhausted, it stands as a living artifact of endurance. It doesn't rely on nostalgia alone. It earns its respect each lap through precision, consistency, and mechanical courage. Watching it compete is watching a philosophy in motion. It asks the audience to appreciate not just speed, but the craft behind it. The way torque, traction, and timing converge into motion that feels almost instinctive. In that sense, the Harley-Davidson XG750R 2024 transcends mere machinery. It's a symbol of what happens when a company chooses to evolve without erasing itself. A reminder that the past doesn't need replacing if it can still teach the present how to endure. The Harley-Davidson XG750R 2024 closes its story not with a final victory but with continuity. It represents a living tradition still willing to line up against uncertainty. Flat track racing has always been a test of balance, both literal and metaphorical, and this motorcycle personifies that balance in motion. It's a machine that doesn't ask for attention. It earns it, one corner at a time. For Harley-Davidson, the XG750R 2024 is proof that a century-old identity can evolve without surrendering its character. What began as a dirt oval experiment has become an unbroken line of persistence, carrying the rumble of the American V-twin into a new era. The 2024 version is lighter, more refined, and more focused than any before it, yet it never forgets what makes it meaningful. It is the modern torchbearer of a racing legacy that has defined generations of riders who value feel over flash and commitment over convenience. The Harley-Davidson XG750R 2024's impact extends far beyond competition results. Each race demonstrates that authenticity still matters in motorsport. The bike's mechanical rhythm stands out against the silence of increasingly digital environments, its torque-driven motion echoing across dirt ovals as a reminder that racing is still about human connection. Engineers may use data to tune it, but the result remains profoundly emotional. That duality, science serving soul, defines Harley's modern engineering philosophy. As the brand continues to evolve toward electric mobility and future platforms, the lessons learned from the XG750R 2024 will carry forward. Precision matters, resilience matters, and identity matters. This motorcycle teaches that progress does not mean abandoning history. It means perfecting it until it becomes timeless. Whether it wins or finishes mid-pack, its very presence ensures that the lineage of American flat track racing continues to breathe. For riders, it's an invitation to reconnect with what drew them to motorcycles in the first place. The feeling of mastering power, not just wielding it. For enthusiasts, it's reassurance that some legacies don't fade, they adapt. The Harley-Davidson XG750R 2024 remains a living monument to that idea. So as it thunders around each oval, sliding sideways under control, it carries more than a rider. It carries the memory of every machine that came before it and the promise of those still to come. It proves that the story of American racing doesn't have to end. It simply shifts gears and keeps going. And as long as that sound echoes through the dust, the legacy of the Harley-Davidson XG750R 2024, and everything it stands for, will keep the spirit of the sport alive.